Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Shanti. So it's a very powerful meditation.
But we forgot to start recording.
Oh, I thought like we haven't started, so.
Shall we start the recording?
Yeah, we did.
Well, I feel that I have made some progress in myself as a result of meditation and Baba. I think I've moved from just awareness to actually taking, to be aware of things before they happen and being able to take a step forward to react. I'm not sure if that's the right word. I recently gave up a little part-time job that I loved very much, but I didn't like losing my connection with my friends who became my employers. So I said to them that I would prefer to do the job for free so that, and just be friends again, which felt right to me. But one of those friends was somebody that I had had recently conflicts with and hurt by her. And I asked myself, is this something that I did? And honestly, I didn't feel that it was. And so I knew that when I made this change, that I would be back into these relationships, but I needed to make I needed to change how I was with them again. And this particular woman I felt angry with, but I realized it. And my first experience with her after all this, I met her with love, sincere, intentional love, and she responded with love that it felt real. And so for me, that was like giving up, that was surrendering in that moment, and honestly knowing that it felt right in every way. So even though it was a small little part of my life, it made me realize the power of Baba's love and the power of the Raj Yoga meditation. So it's something small, but it was a big thing to me. So I want to thank my teachers for what you've taught me. And after a year, eventually it's starting to sink in. So thank you. So everyone knows where the restrooms are and everything.
Yeah, there are no new people today.
Yeah.
So,
So, and we'll all be enjoying the new kitchen for enjoying, and thank you for coming and helping with, did you guys do the IKEA? We have,
We missed you.
I know, I missed you too. So, we're doing some wonderful service here for Baba, and it also benefits all of us. It's all of that positive energy together is what makes this feel like such a blissful place whenever I come. And so thank you for being Baba's instruments and making that happen.
wonderful. Can switch on this light. For some reason, I just could these chairs in the center. These things. Om Shanti. Good evening. As usual, thank you, Devi, for your little bit of speech. It was very nice, the welcome speech. And I'm sure you know what the topic is going to be for today. Right? Awaken the Angel within. So just like last time, we will have a kind of discussion between me and Kanishta, and we'll try to explore this topic from different dimensions and go deeper in each of these dimensions, if possible. We have some new souls who are for the first time, not first time here, second time, but first time for this evening insight session. They've come from Rock Mill, Fort Mill, South Carolina. And so they're here. It's 2.5 hours drive. So congratulations on coming. And of course from Aiken. I think this is a long weekend, and so people haven't been able to come, which is fine too. Sometimes just having few is good too. Then you have much cozier group and you can explore things even deeper. And we have quite a few people online. I see on GoToMeeting and on Zoom. And welcome as well to all of you. And so I guess this is an echo. Is there a little bit, I guess? Yeah, actually it is from there, but I'll try from here. It is really from. Yeah. Yes, what happens is if I reduce it here, I either lose it. This is not the first time, but it's better. Super, alright. Anyway, so Awaken the Angel Within, and this was a topic that Kanishka came up with, and I was thinking we can start with just understanding what came in your mind and why you wanted this topic.
First thing is that I love angels. That's why I wanted to explore more on this topic. And secondly, this January month, we are especially remembering, commemorating the founder of this organization, that is, we call him as Brahma Baba. So he left his mortal coil on 18th of January 1969. And at the time when he left his physical body, he had attained the stage of perfection, that is his angelic form. Those who had the fortune of being with him during those last moments, when they share their experiences, they talk about how angelic he was. His personality was so angelic. It always felt as if he was so light. His eyes would sparkle, his entire body would sparkle, and everyone who would come close to him would become light, would forget everything. All the heaviness would go away, and they would feel the angelic presence of Brahma Baba. So that's why I wanted to.
Before you go too deep into his qualities, I was wondering, was there any other thought in your mind was there any other dimension that you were thinking about that you would like to explore?
Yeah, because when I understood how he was able to attain that stage of perfection, then this thought came that when one person can do, then it is possible for others also to attain the same stage. So there is actually an angel in each one of us. So we all can work on that, our angelic form. Because Brahma Baba, he was able to develop that angel that was sitting inside of him. So if he can do that, then we also can do that.
So can we say that the angel within us is asleep, and that's a we need to
Exactly, that's why.
I have a question, I'm sorry for interrupting, but just for the understanding, when you say angel, I come from a Christian upbringing. Are you talking about the same thing? So what's the definition of an angel?
So this is a good question, but first of all, I would like you to answer. What do you think is an angel? What is your belief?
From upbringing, the angel is an entity that has no gender, so is just a soul. And that is what I identify with much of what I hear from Brahma Kumaris, that I am a soul. I happen to have a body, and I have the body just so I can manifest, and the soul cannot manifest. So when I think of an angel, I think of a soul with no body, with no gender, which has very pure qualities. So to me, when you say angelic, I associate with the virtues that I'm learning from Brahma Kumaris. But I don't know if that is a correct interpretation.
That is. Anybody else? Actually, that is very correct. But any other thoughts? Anybody else would like to say something that they feel an angelic person would be? What is your definition of angel?
Just from my upbringing, too. as a Protestant, the,
Yeah, you can take this.
oh, I'm sorry.
His voice is loud enough to be
Yes.
recorded. Yeah. No, this is perfect.
Just from my upbringing as a Protestant growing up, we were sort of told that angels were other. They were not us. They were something else, midway between God and us,
Good.
who were protectors of us, that we could always call on to help us.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's wonderful. Anybody on the Zoom go to meeting? Anybody else? No? Nobody else? Anybody on Zoom or go to meeting?
I
Wants to say?
think Tanya wants to say something.
Tanya, you want to
Tanya?
say?
I'm looking for.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, you can speak.
I just want to say my father, before he passed away in Ukraine several years ago, the day before he passed away, in his dream, he saw two angels in wearing white, beautiful, long white clothes, all covered with white clothes. Two angels, they came to pick him, to take him, and they said something to him like it's time to go, or something like that. And he shared that the day before he passed away, his dream.
Wonderful.
He shared
That's
that.
lovely.
Yeah.
So all of these are beautiful thoughts about angels, and so we do have some understanding of angel, and what we are talking about here is not changing that concept or understanding of angel, but really going into the explanation of how we can become what we have always thought an angel would be. Right? So why don't we start? So now that we have understood that we're going to approach this from at least these two dimensions. Right?
Yeah, even before that, I would like to. I was thinking about angel myself, and um, if we look into different traditions, they talk about Michael the angel, Gabriel the angel, right? So in each of these words, you see El at the end, right? And I was thinking about this El word, and then this thought came to me that these are the ones who live a very elevated life.
Angel.
So the angels are the ones who lead a very elevated life, and this elevated life, it is because of their elevated thoughts. So we will explore more on
Yeah, this is like when we say, of course, from religious point of view, there is some understanding of angels, but even when, say, somebody does something very nice to us, somebody helps us, is really kind, don't we hear people say, oh, what an angel that person is? So that the person who's expressing some divine qualities can be called as an angel too.
And especially when somebody comes to you and you are struggling and you really need help, at that time you get the help from that person, and then immediately that thought comes to you that, wow, an angel came to help me.
Okay.
I remember when we were here, when we came to this house, and we had all the furnitures, they were not assembled, and we had a program right after 2 days. So that time we were thinking how to assemble all the furnitures. We have no help, nothing, and we ourselves didn't know how to put together everything.
And
then
it wasn't IKEA furniture, it was actually New
Yeah.
Jersey furniture. It wasn't IKEA. IKEA furniture is very easy to assemble.
Yeah.
It was all shipped from New Jersey, and it was so difficult. And then our neighbors came, and overnight.
Neighbor came. He brought his nephew as well, and both of them, they together in 2 days, and everything they have set
They
up.
worked from day to night,
Yeah.
morning to night.
So they were like angels to us.
Brother, you can fix a heart and you cannot put together furniture.
Furniture, see, see, there's so many things that we cannot fix, right? It's so true, so true. So take us into understanding about Brahma Baba. Tell us about his life story, how it all evolved, how he became an angel.
Yeah. So Brahma Baba had many beautiful qualities right before he started this organization in 1936. He was right from his childhood. He was very honest. He was very kind, always helping people, and he belonged to a very normal, like middle class, even below average family, and he was loved by everyone because of his qualities. And then he had to go through a lot of hardships because he lost his mother and then also his father. But because of his hard work, he was able to, start his own business. And then very soon he became reputed diamond merchant. So he had his business not only in India but also in various parts of the world, like Nepal and London, and he used to get the orders because he was very honest. So everyone knew that he is not going to cheat anybody. So he would get orders from the Queen of London, to make a diamond necklace. So he was a very reputed diamond merchant. He was leading his life very well, but in 1936, he got this, he had this inner calling that bade him surrender all his wealth to serve humanity. So he had this quality of surrender. Not only he surrendered himself, not only he surrendered his wealth, but he surrendered his mind, his body to serve mankind. So that was like a spiritual revolution that started from the year 1936. And he had great respect for women, because in those times, in 1930s, women were not at all given any kind of regard or respect. They were not allowed even the basic education. So he wanted to uplift the women of that time. So he not only surrendered his wealth, but he actually created a trust, and he made about 8 young ladies as the leaders, and he handed over all his wealth to them, and then he said that you are going to lead this organization. So he wanted to uplift the women, and that is why the name of this organization is Brahma Kumaris. Kumari means young ladies, young women.
Thank you. I did not know that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I did not know that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kumaris, young
Kumaris.
unmarried men, boys, and Kumaris are unmarried
Girls.
girls.
But males are also welcome. Sometimes people, they think that it is Brahma Kumaris, only women are allowed, but it is not like that. Anybody can come because it is about our it's beyond gender. It's about spirituality, and spirituality has no boundaries, no male, no female, nothing like that. So this organization is about connecting with the self, going within and becoming aware of who we are. We are spiritual beings in this human physical body. So when we connect with the spiritual beings that we are, then we are able to awaken the angel within that we are talking about today.
Yeah, but tell us more about Father Brahma, Brahma Baba, a little bit about what happened. So he had all these revelations, and he became the medium for God. And so then what happened? What effort did he make, and how did he reach his angelic
Yeah, he
state?
made a lot of effort actually.
What was the effort?
Because he was in search of truth. He wanted to know what is truth. And then when he got this awakening that he is a spiritual being, so he worked on that. And he got many realizations, many insights, because he realized that when he connected with his true self, he was also able to connect with God. So he was able to draw God's energy. So God's energy made him very powerful. And then he became like a messenger. Whatever messages he was receiving, he was able to deliver those messages to those young women. And then, that empowered them as well. So the spiritual knowledge made him very powerful.
Could you clarify the difference between messenger and a medium? Was he really a messenger, or was he a true?
He was actually a medium. We cannot call him as messenger, but he was a medium. He was just because we say that God is light, So how God can, if God wants to give some message, how can He give the message to the human beings? He has to take someone's body he has to make someone as a medium so that he can deliver his message to everyone else. So he was actually a medium of God. Yes.
Sorry for interrupting again, but I just don't want to project my knowledge from my culture. So, am I understanding correctly the difference between a medium and a messenger is that the medium is a channel through which Baba expresses, and a messenger is just delivering a message, but that's not coming
Right.
directly from Baba.
That's true.
True. Very good. Thank you.
That's good.
So take us further now. So the organization has started, and so what effort did you really
Yeah,
make?
so main effort, there are so many qualities of Brahma Baba, but one of the qualities that I really like about him that helped him to become an angel is that he used to he used to talk to his mind a lot. Every night he would hold a court and then he would ask, his mind, what did you think? Because see, in order to become an angel, one of the qualities and one of the main qualities of becoming an angel is that the thoughts, they have to be very pure. That is why angels are always shown in white clothes, because they have complete purity in their thoughts, purity in their vision, purity in their actions. And that purity comes, purity in actions comes only when there is purity in the thoughts. So he worked on his mind. He made his mind very pure, very clean by constantly, constantly working on his mind. That inner work that he did was amazing. Because every day we create so many different types of thoughts. And many thoughts, they are useless. They are not of good quality. But what he would do, he would sit and he would then talk to his mind, and then if mind does not create good quality thought that particular day or whatever, then he would ask the mind to create good quality thoughts. As such, his thoughts were very good right from the beginning, because he already was meditating before he started this organization, but he actually refined his intellect. That refinedness has to be there, so he refined his intellect and did a lot of work, and this is how he became very light. He had to face so many difficulties at that time, because it was not easy for him to, deliver this knowledge, because this knowledge was kind of new, and also because the young women were the leaders, so it was not acceptable to the man-dominated society. So he had to really face lot of difficulties, lot of obstacles came, but he was always light, always light. And not only just light, but also cheerful. So his qualities, if we see, they were all like angelic qualities.
Share with us the story about how when somebody came to actually kill him, and what happened at that time.
Yeah, so see, there were many things that happened in Brahma Baba's life. He was actually one time, one person came. Yeah, just a minute, child. I'll answer your question. Okay? One time, one person came to kill him, and Brahma Baba was sitting in his room very quietly, and he knew that somebody has come to attack him. But at that time, he 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 created such beautiful and pure energy for that soul, for that person, that when he came in front of him, he was totally transformed. His thought completely changed. Because as soon as he came close to him, what he saw was only light. And immediately, he just bowed down in his feet, and then he totally surrendered. And Brahma Baba actually said to him, come child, have tea. So he came to kill Brahma Baba, but in return, see how beautifully he was handled by Brahma Baba.
So there were a lot of people who, when would look at Brahma Baba, would see light.
Yeah.
The form of an angel that we know of in general is light. Light not just from the weight point of view, heaviness and lightness, right?
Yeah, so we
Needs of
say
the-
that double light. Angels are double light. So they're aware that they are lights and also their minds, they are light. They don't carry any burden with them.
So people would, when they would look at Father Brahma, they would see
Only light.
light.
Yeah. And what is your experience? Like, you also heard the story of Brahma Baba. So what is one thing that has really helped you in your spiritual journey? Maybe you can share that.
Well, as you look at his story, his life, it is filled with such beautiful experiences, and and each one of them give you a lot of learning experience. But of course, this story really touched me. But also, there was a time when mm, Brahma Baba had really surrendered everything that he had, and then they moved from Pakistan, or where Sindh, Hyderabad, which is now in Pakistan, to India because of the partition and so on and so forth, the War of Independence. And they moved, and there were about 400, 500 souls who had surrendered too, and so they were being fed from this. But then the money dwindled away. There was no money left, and there was a time when there was no food for the next day morning for breakfast for 400, 500 people. And Baba was always so relaxed, always so free, always so light. He knew it is not his task, it's God's task. And God will somehow make it happen. And so he would then take the children up the mountains, and then they would pick berries and this and that and come back. And because they have eaten that in that much of happiness and joy and love, that their stomachs will be full, they would not need anything more. And also, but when they would come back, somebody or the other would send several sacks of grain or something, and there would be food. And so despite the biggest challenges, he was always light, always unaffected. And that's what I see from the quality of an angel, that doesn't remains unfazed in difficult situations, difficult circumstances, sees opportunities in every situation, and not just use those opportunities to make the best of it, but actually to truly become a source of inspiration for everyone around. That's what I see from Father Brahma's life, and I know that it was 30 some years, right? 1936 to 1969. That was 33 years. So all this started when he started having these revelations and God's presence in his life. That started at the age of 60 to 93 age. And in these 33 years, the effort that he made to become true soul conscious, that I am a soul and nothing more than a soul, and seeing not just himself as a soul, but seeing everybody else as a soul, and eventually and there are so many challenges that come not just from outside but from within, because there's so much baggage that each one of us holds, and I'm sure he had a lot of baggages too. And he had not just internal baggages, but and external baggages because of problems, because of people attacking. But he had a full family. He had several sons and daughters and grandchildren, and how many, I can't even remember, 20, 25 people in one house, sort of, like this huge family that he had. And so suddenly one fine morning, if somebody says, I'm totally becoming spiritual and detached, not disconnected, but detached, and that also is many times the family doesn't take it right too. But despite all of these, he was able to take everyone, not just the masses, but also the whole family. Because often you will see that many that people are able to serve outside people, but have the biggest challenges from their own homes. he was able to move everyone together and move forward and higher to a more elevated state for himself and for everyone else. And then at the end, so 33 years passed, and when it was 93, and 18 January was the day.
This year we are celebrating his 50 years.
Of
50 years of, we don't say death ceremony because we feel that he is still with us as an angel. So, 50 years ago he left his physical.
and the experience where then the chief of the Brahma Kumaris was Dadi Prakash Muni, and she describes how at the end, when till the last day he was, and really till the last day he never wore glasses, till the last day he never sat with back support, till the last day he gave a class, he met with all the souls over there, and then he retired to his room, and then the Dadi came, and how there was this intense light that that she felt was being transferred from Brahma Baba to her, and that he is now giving her the responsibility of the organization, and he flew sort of from his body.
So she saw him at his death?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
That was just him and her at that moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so how beautifully this whole thing transpired. So it's interesting that a person who, and I like what you said, that if he could do it, then why can't each one of us? And all the qualities, if you look at from whatever culture you've come from or whatever culture you have really thought about angel as, the only good things come in your mind. A protector, someone who loves, someone who takes care, someone who doesn't want anything in return, is untouched by things around, has no gender, no agenda except to serve.
From what you are both sharing, I'm picking up on one more thing that I didn't occur to me before, which is unburdened.
Yeah.
And you're saying that Baba trusted, so it was not heavy on him, and therefore he was light. So I'm picking up on the concept of having faith and trusting. Therefore, I don't need to carry the weight I carry right now.
Yeah.
I can trust that someone who's much more capable than I am can carry that for me.
That's it.
Yeah. One thing is also related to trust. If you cultivate this habit of having trusty consciousness
Mm-hmm.
that nothing belongs to me, then God also starts to trust you, and your trust towards God and towards others also increases. So I like the trust and trusty concept.
Fun.
Right.
But now you think of it,
I
trust.
think child had some question, right?
1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get child. See how if you want to. Yeah, but let's go ahead, child, if you have.
When you said angels are the light picture, is that why Brahma's standard color is white?
Yeah, in a way, yes. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's the reason why we wear white is because white signifies purity, white signifies peace, and white also signifies simplicity.
And also cleanliness,
Okay.
right?
Because if as soon as it gets dirty, you know, and you have to clean it. And also, it kind of simplifies life. Not just simplicity, but it truly simplifies life. I have seen so many. Now I'm going to switch gears. We were talking about angel, but I'll switch gears just to answer such a lovely question that you had. And so, if you look at when people go to their wardrobes and they have so many different colors, it's so difficult to match. Today, what shoe I will wear with what clothes, with what earrings, with what hat, what purse. Is that what happens? Men also have a lot of problems sometimes with matching this and this, right? What do you have to match white with white? I don't even have to think most of the times if I'm wearing white, right? So it simplifies me. And for others too, when they see this, it shows that we are not attached to worldly pleasures, because the more we are in the worldly sensual pleasures, the more burdens come with that. And so if we want to really be unburdened, and I want to really talk about that for a moment, if that's okay. Say, if you look at from the moment we were born to now, this moment, how much of our life has been really in our control? What has been in our control? We want to control everything. We are control freaks. Not, but think of it, how much of it has been in control. If you go back into thinking about when you were born, were you born on your own? No, somebody took you out, right? Somebody cleaned you up, somebody fed you, somebody clothed you, somebody educated you, somebody sent you to good schools, somebody took you to vacations, maybe not the best vacations, maybe less. Maybe you didn't have cookies every day, or in fact it's good you didn't get it because that would ruin your teeth. You know, you got things till now. Maybe you don't have a house like Bill Gates, but you have a house, a roof, you have enough clothes to wear, you have food on the table, you have people around you to take care of you. How much of this have you created? Did we create our parents? Did we go into a laboratory or somewhere, let's mix things, reagents and things like that, create things? No. Did we create our own brothers and sisters? Did we create people around us who take care of us? So if nothing is really in our control, then why do we want to control? The more we want to control, the more we feel burdened. And so we release all these controls, let go, allow that higher force to work through us. That's when life becomes easy. And that's how I feel one of the most important reasons how Brahma Baba was able to attain his angelic state, his perfect state. So in a way, if I'm asked what is an angel, one who has achieved perfection. In a way, in some cultures they say that, and it is in a way, we also understand that there's this soul, the point of light, and there's this physical body. But between the two, there is this body of light. And this body of light, in some different cultures they call it as astral body. It is, it kind of has the shape of our body, place of light. And so it is said that when the soul leaves the body, the soul leaves the body with this body of light. And then somewhere along the way, it leaves that astral body or light body of light to go. So the images that we see of people flying, those angels flying, and the bodies not touching anything, their feet not touching the ground, and they have feathers and things like that, has come from this, I guess. So each one of us holds that ability to reach our perfection. I was thinking if you would talk about that. Yeah.
So question, is that the same thing as an aura?
Yeah, you can look at it as a aura. Yeah, I try not to go deep into difference between this versus this, because again, in a way they are also like this. We can, but you understand what it is now, right? That's most important. Yeah.
So coming to the previous point of how many things are really in control of us. So if you could just, we talk about one of the virtues that taking the complete accountability of our actions and the total responsibility. So can you please explain us what is the difference between that?
The paradox.
Yeah.
Rajyoga is filled with paradox. It's a science of paradox. It's an art of paradoxes. Well, you can look at it in that way. But the beauty is that What around you is in your control. Only what is in your control is what you do. So taking accountability of the self means I have to make sure that I do the right thing. There's nothing is in my control. So despite whatever is happening around me, I have the choice to respond in a certain way or respond in another way. So that's all I have in control. Nothing else. And once that action has been performed, even that is no longer in my control because it has gone. It has already been created. What action I'm going to do in the future is also not in my control because that is future. What I have is this moment, what action I'm going to perform in this moment. And that action could be a thought, could be a word, or could be actual physical action. But rest everything around us. We surrender to everything anyways. You surrender to the laws of the land. Right? You don't say, I'm going to drive on the left side of the road. Right? You surrender. You surrender to the sun coming up and going down. You're not going to say, I'm going to now start working at 11 o'clock in the night. You have to surrender to it. The winter comes, you have to get your winter clothes out. Summer comes, you surrender again and you put your winter clothes back in. Surrender anyways. Like it or not. Then why not surrender? The moment we try to fight the forces, the inner forces and the universal forces of God, that's where the clashes come. That's where the energy gets dissipated. We want to hold on to our energy, if we want to conserve our energy, go with the flow. But not like go with the flow doesn't mean go with the negative flow. Go with what is the true, pure flow of all life that exists.
So problem versus opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. Or you can look at it from that point of view too.
Why they use Raj Yoga? Raj in the yoga world.
Oh, it's a good question. Huh? We talked about this last time a little bit.
Because I'm not a big fan of Rajas, if it's related to Rajas. In a way, they were dictators. They used to make people slaves, right?
Correct.
But here our aim is, when we say Raja Yoga, our aim is to become a king of our own self, not to become king of others. When we talk about dictators, they have control over others, right? But here what we are learning is how to have full control over the self, in the way that my mind should think what I want the mind to think. My eyes should see what I want the eyes to see. My ears should hear what I want them to hear. So every sense organ should be in my control. So these senses are like subjects. And I, the soul, am a king. I have to just order. See this, hear this, eat this, and they should do exactly what I tell them to do. So that control can be achieved when we practice this meditation, Raj Yoga. And also Raj, another meaning of Raj means secret. In Hindi, Raj means secret. So we get to know many secrets of life.
The
When
true
we meditate,
secrets
the
of
true
life.
secrets.
How to lead the life.
Yeah. New insights we get,
meaningful way, most purposeful way.
Right.
And my take on Raj Yoga, if I understand correctly, is that Raj is not in the sense of a ruler of others, but ruler of the self. So I'm seeking to learn how to master myself. So my Raj Yoga is connecting with the sovereign of myself.
Okay. Reminding myself
The
that
awareness that I am a self-sovereign soul. So in Raj Yoga, we become master of our own mind, master of our own senses, but at the same time we become master of time as well.
Master of sleep.
Masters of many things actually, but this time is very crucial. the understanding we get here in this meditation practice is that the time that we are in is valuable, is very precious. Just like we take the example of the life cycle of caterpillar. How in the life cycle of caterpillar a time comes when the caterpillar has to go through that transformation process. When we talk about the change, there are three words that are usually used. One is change, second is transformation, and third is metamorphosis. Right? So metamorphosis means complete transformation. So the time we are in is the time when we have to really make ourselves, we have to work on ourselves to such an extent that there is complete transformation of
Actually,
the soul.
metamorphosis, right?
Yeah.
So I like that. Like I was talking about the dough, the flour versus dough. This transformation, it has come from the flour. When change is little change here and there, right? Change the temperature.
Right.
And if you transform would mean that if it was hot, it is totally cold. But metamorphosis
is complete transformation. When you yourself will be amazed.
So you look at examples in the in nature, right? Metamorphosis of a tadpole into a frog, or a caterpillar into a butterfly. There's just no way you can compare the two.
And I think you explain it very beautifully. So why don't you take us through the understanding of what happens in metamorphosis, and then we can link it to the spiritual part of it.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So when we talk about this metamorphosis of the caterpillar and to butterfly, actually, when we understand that, that's when we get the insights of how we can transform from where we are in this subservient, negative state that we usually see ourselves in, to the most elevated, highest angelic consciousness that we can ever imagine ourselves to be. So let's take this example of the caterpillar and butterfly a little deeper. You see, the caterpillar is this dirty, squirrely, slimy. I don't like it. Nobody, is there anybody who likes the caterpillar? Right? Though it's pretty, it is actually a very nice color. Nobody really likes it. And you look at a butterfly, how beautiful it is. And this caterpillar can hardly crawl, and this butterfly can fly so beautifully. Caterpillar is clumsy and butterfly is so graceful. But you see what happens is the caterpillar goes into this cocoon and sits there in the cocoon. But actually there is a process, this process happens long before it enters the cocoon. Its entering the cocoon is also purposeful, very deep, this whole thing. So if you can, just listen carefully, because there's a lot of meaning right there. It's almost as if there's a time in its life when it suddenly awakens. It awakens to a new possibility, a new reality. It says, almost like, I'm tired of being a caterpillar. I want to be a butterfly. Just the thought, and then the changes happen in the body. What happens is, if you go into more of the zoology of this and how the life cycle really works, is that it then starts to eat voraciously. So it eats and eats and eats. It eats everything that it's given. It just eats like crazy. It's so much that it's not able to move. It's not able to it is not able to even digest. It begins to disintegrate, sort of. And then it enters into the cocoon, and there is this thread, sort of, right there in the cocoon, that it spins. It creates its own cocoon, threads. But you see, it is free from those threads. It's really not attached. But within it, inside it, as it goes in there and sits there, the body begins to melt. The body literally begins to melt. If you open the cocoon, some point, in almost a little bit as it has entered, you see there's just liquid there. So it liquefies. And then there's the development of the butterfly happens in there. Then one day it opens the cocoon, and then it has to still kind of squeeze itself out and then become a butterfly. Now you see, the same thing happens to us, or can happen to us. In cultures and many different religions, it has been said that before man begins to transform, there is this belief, this realization that there is a need for transformation. So do you feel the need for transformation, right? That's the beginning, beginning of the process. And then what's the next thing you do? If you have that realization, you seek for more knowledge. There's this deep hunger, that voracious hunger for knowledge. And you eat, you're listening to this, you're reading this, you're wanting to know more, you're asking questions. And so you feed yourself. And there's so much of information that your body begins to liquefy. Not really, but your body consciousness begins to liquefy. And then you are in the cocoon. The cocoon, what is the cocoon? Cocoon is this cocoon of silence that you go within. That you are unattached, unattracted, unpulled by the needs of the world. And you are inside that, right? Caterpillar doesn't care about what is happening outside. Goes into that cocoon. And only when it goes into the cocoon can it become the butterfly. Only when we go into the cocoon of silence can we become an angel. So far so good. Only if you have the desire to become an angel can you become an angel. The process starts. Then you start voraciously consuming knowledge, seeking truth. And then you enter into the cocoon of silence. Silence would mean self-realization, that whole practice of going within rather than going out. And then you spin this, and of course you're spinning this cocoon and
Spinning the spiritual knowledge.
spinning the spiritual knowledge, look at it from that point of view. And then one day you break this open. But you see, there's the story of one time a child saw the butterfly struggling to come out of the cocoon, and so feels mad, so it opens the cocoon for it, and the butterfly dies. So each one of us has to go through that struggle in the cocoon as we come out of the cocoon. Because they say that the butterfly, as it comes out, it helps squeeze the fluid out of the wings, and then the wings become light and the butterfly can actually fly. Otherwise the butterfly will never be able to fly. So for us to, if you look at the challenges or opportunities that come our way, are reasons, are methods to make us into angels. If there are no opportunities, there are no problems, no situations, no nothing, then we will never be able to become angels.
I would like to add, because you said that in the caterpillar the body melts, and in our case, specifically for me, what's melting is my paradigm, is my sense of I am like this, and I think like this, and these are my values, and these are melting. They're changing, and you say, I don't really know how I'm going to be next.
That's
And
exactly.
I'm always, not always, but I am recently becoming increasingly aware that I am changing in my response to other people.
Yeah, you're becoming
So
an
one of
angel.
the practices that we do here is changing our consciousness from body to soul, so that we are dissolving the body consciousness and the soul consciousness, that light
That's
is
what I
coming.
said. The old paradigm of thinking, of understanding who we are, is now being transformed to a new paradigm. So the old paradigm is melting away. That's the body consciousness that has to melt. And only when that melts is when we can become angels.
Yeah, and another thing I was thinking, that when this creature, little creature can change, we can also change, right? We are like the little creature going through the transformation process.
So in other words, we have to be smarter than the caterpillar.
Yeah.
And you realize what a miracle that is, that whole process, it then going through confluence to the golden age doesn't seem that unlikely, or
Yeah.
I mean it's
Now if you
as
look,
miraculous as the
yes,
Bible.
yes, so true. And even say before you started the journey, if somebody would say that you can achieve your perfection, that seems like a very far-fetched idea. But now it begins to clearly showing that to us that we can. It's like a reality that's right here, reachable, with arm's length. Yes.
We have this exercise also, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if we want to break into small groups, but I think we can share what.
Share,
Yeah. And then this was a book written by Brother Anthony Strano, the man who loved angels. And so
So
before
this is extract from his book. You
yeah.
have something to say?
No, that's fine. I think.
I'll read it out. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, before you
So-
read out, then I have something. I was just thinking that when we are talking about awaken the angel within, really speaking, I was hoping to drive this point across really well, that there is truly an angel within us, sitting within us. And all we have to do is to uncover it. And the example that I really like to share is the way David, the big statue of David, was created by Michelangelo. I'm sure you know. It's about 5 meters high, something like that. Very high, very big. It's considered a true masterpiece, and so a lot of people were involved in it. A lot of years went by, and somebody had started this, and they had only done it in the legs, and it was sitting for so many years. Leonardo da Vinci was once considered for this, and then Michelangelo took this project, and in 2 years he completed it. And later, when he was asked, how were you able to create such a fantastic masterpiece? Such a fantastic, one of the best, one of the considered an all-time fantastic piece of art. And he said, I didn't do anything. David existed within this stone, this block of stone. All I did was to chip away the excess stones that was around him. So if I like to look at it for myself this way, that I am already an angel with some things around me. Every day I have to chip off with a chisel and hammer and so on and so forth. Chip off a little bit of that body consciousness, that old paradigm of thinking.
Yeah, a lot of self-checking is needed to get rid of the defects, right? Okay, so this is from Brother Anthony, and he has written very beautifully the difference between humans and angels. So there are many points. There are 18 points actually, because of the 18th of January. There are 18 points he took. So first is humans ask, angels trust. Humans analyze, angels know. Humans wait, angels create. Humans judge, angels discern. Humans separate, angels embrace. Humans learn, angels remember. Humans process, angels are. Humans measure, angels donate. Humans justify, angels reconcile. Humans defend, angels accept. Humans diagnose, angels heal. Humans criticize, angels empathize. Humans love, angels cherish. Humans think, angels feel. Humans speculate, angels realize. Humans hear, angels listen. Humans speak, angels don't. So this is,
A gift that you all will get actually.
you all will get this one. We have
a handful of them with your special sweet as well.
yeah, this
Right.
will remind you of your qualities from human consciousness to angel consciousness.
So I guess a little bit of exercise we can do, and we don't have to break up into small groups, but each one can do his own exercise. Out of these, we'll give it out right away now,
Yeah.
I guess, and you can look at it, which one of these you feel resonate the most with you. And
Maybe anything is inspiring you, uplifting you as you read through this.
yeah, and so how much of an angel would you like to become, or what has inspired you with this, and what kind of an angel would you like to see yourself as, and so on and so forth. Think about these questions. In what way would you like to express the angelic consciousness? This angel wants to.
I was watching for you.
Yeah, Kanishka brought all these angels from up there. So. So share how much you feel inspired to be an angel if you have been. And maybe somebody who's totally new like Chetan Bhai. But do you feel inspired now?
Yeah.
So in what way? What has inspired you? In general.
Yeah, I think in general it's about like thinking positively, taking like in every situation, like if you take positivity without, you feel better for
Correct.
yourself and for others. Yeah.
So angels never think negative, right? Sure, everybody agrees. There's no angel who will think negative, no wasteful thoughts, nothing. So positive. So that's a great quality that you have shown. You'll become an angel who only creates positive thoughts. Great. Congratulations.
The humans separate, angels embrace. I guess I thought it would be the opposite. Because of detachment.
So detachment is the only way we can actually love others. Body consciousness creates silos. We separate people. This versus this. This is mine versus that's yours. My children versus yours.
I get a paradox.
See? Yeah. A beautiful paradox. And, you see, my car versus your car. So nobody should damage my car. Who cares about your car? Right? My children need to be the best. But who cares about yours? Even if they don't have food to eat. Right? That's what body consciousness does. So humans separate because they are human in body consciousness. Angels have detached themselves, so they embrace everyone and everything. Accept everything and everyone. Nothing belongs to them. They belong to no one. One of the beautiful things that when people, all these dadis, when they lived with Baba, they always said that it was as if Baba belonged to no one, but belonged to everyone. Everybody would say, this is my Baba, my father. Because it was like he was expressing God's qualities while being a human. That's really an angel, expressing God's qualities while being human. And he would say he wouldn't belong to anyone, and yet everyone felt they belonged to him and he belonged to them. So that's how we have to be. Embrace everyone, love everyone. And I've seen it, from the moment you kind of step away from me and mind, and you immediately start to love everyone. It's like, it's almost like, you don't have a dog, now everybody's dogs, all come, or everybody's children. It's not my children. I enjoy the children. Everybody's children, everybody's dogs, everybody's cats, I play with them because I have nothing belongs to me. Then everybody else's things, you begin to respect them, you begin to appreciate everybody, begin to just allow those to come.
Because you have the confidence of not being burdened with attachment.
Yeah, that's true too. Very nice. Yeah.
For me, the one that is really rocking is humans speak and angels don't. Because I look at myself, and again, what's changing is that my need to speak is diminishing. And now what I identify with my need to speak is my need to defend, which is associated with an attachment. So I'm hearing here that's just angels they don't need to defend. They don't have the attachment. They can actually fully listen because they have no need to defend anything. And I'm gradually, hopefully, diminishing my need to defend position, beliefs,
viewpoints,
yeah.
ideas.
I like to think that's part of the melting.
Right. Humans speak, angels don't. After some time you realize that when you're truly in soul consciousness, you just don't have the desire to speak. And people would say that really at the end, when people would come with problems, there would be some, Baba, this is happening, that's happening. They say that he's looking, he's seeing, and he's understanding their problems. And just by looking at his eyes, people would get their answers, and he wouldn't speak a word. There's no need to speak at all. Things happen automatically. And normally we have to tell, parents keep telling me, I have to keep telling children, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. But you think how he would take care of 500 souls without having to say anything, 1,000, whatever he would live in. And I've seen that's how these dadis work, how really elevated souls work. There's no need to speak. Everything works automatically.
In fact, if you speak too much, the things will go out of your control probably.
Yeah, they start to fall apart. We make more mistakes by speaking than keep it quiet. But then you also develop the ability to understand when to speak, what to speak, how to speak. And, so you speak. It's not like you totally don't speak. But you speak meaningfully.
It is silence actually that will work, that will help you in the transformation process. The cocoon of silence that he was talking about. You have to be silent. The more silent you are, the more power you are generating. And that power will help you bring about the transformation. Any kind of transformation if we want in our lives, we have to have the power. That power comes only when we are in silence.
And it's not just silence of words, it's true inner silence.
Yeah. Silence doesn't mean you're not speaking, but silence means you're not unnecessarily creating thoughts. Fewer the thoughts, more power the soul gets.
So I'm speaking right now, but internally I feel that silence. It's like no movement. I can feel my mind stay like this. sleeping. But on the other hand, we have to make sure that when we are speaking, it's not affecting this mind, and our mind is not affecting this. If there's too much going on there, there'll be too much going on here. If there's too much going on here, there'll be too much going on there. So both have to be together. Anything else? There's just a whole lot that we can talk about, but I thought that at least we give you a sense of what angel consciousness is, and just this feeling that we can become angels. And now we can take us all into an angelic meditation.
Yeah, before I end, in the morning I got this thought that maybe we can come up with some, this acronym from this word angel. So I got that one, so that we can take
You're very creative with that.
take steps to become an angel. So A for attention. Throughout the day I have to be attentive. What is my consciousness? Is it human consciousness or angelic consciousness? And believe that, yes, pay attention to your belief, what you're believing in. You have to believe that, yes, I am an angel. That belief is very important, right? And N for, you have to make your angelic nature natural. So whatever you do, you bring the angelic qualities, in a natural way. And then G for goodness. An angel is one who sees goodness in everyone. So if you want to become an angel, you want to manifest your angelic form, then you see goodness in everyone, whomever you are meeting with. Right? And then E stands for empowerment. When you start to look into the goodness of everyone, then you are making your mind very clean and clear. And that way you will be able to take powers from the divine. So that empowerment will come. So you need the divine energy in order to bring about this transformation process. Right? And L stands for light. You will reach there when you are completely light. Right?
So attentive, natural,
Goodness,
empowered,
and
and
light.
light. Thank you.
And Dadi Janki always says that, if you are light, you are bright, then everything will be right. And you will have divine insight. And that is how everything will be right.
Light, bright, and right. Very nice. Thank you very much. So we'll go through meditation, right? If anybody, I know it's getting late, but if anybody in Zoom or GoToMeeting wants to ask, no?
Yeah, I want to, somebody has some comments or something, GoToMeeting, Zoom, before we end with meditation. No? Everyone is contented?
Yeah.
Happy? Light?
Good.
Very happy, and we are really enjoying. So thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Karen then from Pittsburgh. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Shwetman Bhai, Kanishta Ben.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for
So
together we can become angels.
Thank you, Shwetan Bhai and Kanishta Ben. It was really nice. It was so informative, and we learned a lot. And it's we have to be like an angel. Thank you so much for so much of information. Thank you.
Who is this?
This is Ranjita.
Oh, Ranjita then, okay, from Harrisburg. Okay.
Om Shanti. Girish here from Michigan. Thanks, Shwetang and Kanishta Ben, for giving us more clarity on the what humans does and what angels does. And it will be great help if we can share those points, 18 points, so that we can practice in our life.
Yeah.
And also thanks for the audience who asked really good questions. So that also helped us a lot. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Great audience.
Wonderful. We'll take a picture of it or scan it or something and then send it to you. Okay. Maybe could you play that lovely music that you played earlier? There's a glass there. No, it's a cup there. Could I request all of you to mute your microphones? So let us together hold a thought. Thought that there is an angel within us. An angel that needs to be freed. Just like Michelangelo freed David from that piece of stone. You too have to free the angel that lies within us. And just like a caterpillar that enters the cocoon to become a beautiful butterfly, hold this firm belief that you too can become an angel. In fact, let's hold the thought of the belief that you already have become angels. Could you decrease the volume a little bit? Thank you. Feel that there is that desire kindling within you. The pure desire to become an angel. This pure desire to experience the truth and to also live the truth. See yourself now entering into the cocoon of silence. A cocoon of God's energy. A cocoon of God's love. And in this cocoon, all your old paradigms of thinking melting away. Old paradigms of who you think, who you thought you are. Old paradigms of neediness and wanting, of consumerism, of begging. And at the same time, a new consciousness emerging from that desire that was kindling within you to become an angel. And that consciousness is of giving, of serving, of loving, of pure acceptance, of trust, of generosity. See yourself now emerging from the cocoon. The cocoon is splitting up. Emerging in a body of light. Light like a feather, radiating pure light. You see yourself beginning to fly. Flying completely free. No attachment. No pull. Just like a butterfly goes from one beautiful flower to another beautiful flower. Just taking its nectar. You see yourself going from one beautiful opportunity to the other. Taking only the most possible. Giving joy to others in the process. Sharing God's love. You have become an angel. Pure consciousness, pure energy. See see yourself radiating God's energy, serving the entire mankind with God's love. Om Shanti.
Thank you. It was beautiful, right? Didn't want to come out of that experience.
The music is still down.
Yeah.
What happens is when this mic, we can't hear the sound. Could you please mute your microphones on Zoom, please? That will help us. Were you able to hear the meditation at all? I got a message that you all were not able to hear. Were you able to hear at all?
On go-to meeting, we were able to hear.
Okay. You were able to hear, that's good. But somebody's microphone is unmuted, so that's okay. All right, Om Shanti again. So that's special sweet. So for those who have come, you get this special sweet. You'll have to guess what's in there.
I smell coconut.
Yeah, I can smell coconut. Yeah, that's one of the ingredients for sure. But what else? It's vegan, right? It is vegan. So cute. So, child, was I able to answer your question? Right.
Expression card and answer. It is application and affirmation. Expression.
And you're no longer concerned about the word Raja now, right? You understood it.
Yeah.
So you're becoming a king, but not that kind of a king that misuses power. Also think of it, you're not a slave of other people. That is such a beautiful state. Others cannot control your happiness and peace. You can generate your own peace and happiness. That's the true thing.
I mean, I wouldn't still use Raj because Raja has like so many other things. Like it's
So
like control freak. You want to.
Is there a
like,
possibility for a little bit you get rid of all those thoughts you have about the old Raja and a new Raja with age? Raja is a Raja that is not subservient to things around.
No, so Raja, good Raja is a bestower, always gives, takes care of the subjects.
See, there have been a lot of good Rajas, right? There have
from
some,
the surface, like if you go in deep, I think.
no,
like,
some at least have been good.
Yeah, some.
So why don't we? You know what happens is like.
You were talking about positivity, right?
Right,
So
see.
it's good to focus on the positive qualities of Raja.
You know, somebody said that I'm so scared of accident. That's why I don't drive. And now I said, how many people drive on a regular day? Millions. How many accidents happen? A very tiny fraction. We hold on to that. That person is holding on to that. Now that person has no ability to go anywhere, is stuck, and so somebody has to pick that person up, and she's a young girl and can drive and whatever. That's what happens to her. So if possible, let go of all those negative thoughts you've thought about for the king. And king is beautiful. New image of a king.
So basically we can, just to add to that, probably we can think of a king as an administrator
Mhm.
and we have to be administrator of our own thoughts and actions.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to
Manager,
be.
like
Yes,
like a
even if
leader.
there is no administrator, the place would be an
Chaos,
chaos.
yeah.
So
You're in a kingdom, you learn how to rule over, you know.
Good. Thank
so somebody has to administer somebody.
you. Sure. All right. Come one by one, please, and take this lovely sweet.